think of Eddy Njoroge, I think of words like committed, driven, and consultative.
Eddy is best described by professionalism and very calm in his approach to issues.
He presents a very strong leadership ability.
He's a good communicator.
He's a very spiritual man.
He's accessible in terms of reaching out to him and reaching out and providing ideas, and his ability to give direction.
I've known Eddy for many years through his professional career because he's been a public figure.
When I joined the exchange as the chief executive, Eddy was on the board, but he was not yet the chairman. I think after about 1 year, he then assumed the chair of the exchange, and we worked together for the next 5 years.
I know his family, his spouse and his children. I've attended some of his personal family affairs.
I came to interact with Eddy during his time at KenGen, when he was the chief executive of KenGen, and we were able to bring in to the market 2 big transactions. The first one, the KenGen listing, and subsequently the KenGen bond that came to the market. And at that time, I was participating as an investor, and we were having regular interactions with KenGen as a potential company for listing.
We worked much closer while he was the chair of the NSE during the very challenging period when we were going through the demutualization of the NSE, as well as working with him on trying to set a new strategic direction for the NSE. And throughout that period, he was very engaging, very committed to supporting change, driving strategic direction for the NSE, and very committed to trying to achieve, the utmost best for the exchange.
Two years ago, we definitely had the issue of the capital gains tax at the NSE, and it required a lot of, stakeholder management. And he took the board through that very well. We were able to have interactions with stakeholders, and he was excellent at that, always a diplomat.
Sometimes the task at hand would look insurmountable, but through his relationships and his depth and networks within that sphere, always makes the task look so easy.
He had a very good relationship with the CDSC chairman, and so for us we were able to progress matters and progress issues in a manner that would enable us to grow the market together.
Eddy was instrumental in most of the key initiatives that we accomplished at the exchange.
Eddy Njoroge joined the NSE in 2007, and at that time the NSE was going through a very transformative phase.
There was the open outcry when you'd shout a price to buy, a shout to sell, and then transaction would be written on the boards.
We were able to automate the exchange, and today our brokers are all trading from their offices.
The listing journey is not an easy one, and Eddy was at the helm of NSE when that was happening.
Eddy was leading the board when they came up with the new strategic plan for the Nairobi Securities Exchange.
He was chairman of the exchange when we launched the growth enterprise market segment. He, as chairman, was very involved in the effort to demutualize the exchange.
Eddy is a very God-fearing man. He participates very, very actively in church matters.
I do recall him sharing with me once that when he was in school, I don't know whether he had a bad experience in the pool, and since then, being too close to the water is something that he doesn't like.
One of his business was in chicken business, where they would sell day-old chicks to the public. And that was way before he came into the energy sector and the stock market.
I've gotten to know him from slightly different perspectives, but each of that view is consistent about a man who is very centered. He understands his values, he understands the contribution he needs to make, and he knows about how to go about making that difference.
Very often when people think of Eddy, they see him at the forefront of KenGen's change. They saw him sitting at Nairobi Securities Exchange meetings or at press conferences, and you picture a very focused, very serious person, but away from the cameras, away from the boardroom, he's actually a genuinely amiable and very open and humorous person, and a real pleasure to work with.
I'd like to wish Eddy very well in his retirement, although I know he's probably more busy now than he was even while he was chairman.
He's been part and parcel of the greater part of the development of this market, which I think is something that not only here at the NS we appreciate, but even as an industry we appreciate.
I wish Eddy Njoroge the very best in whatever he does in future, in all the areas that he continues to serve.
We wish we would have retained him longer, so that we continue tapping on his talent.
We hope to continue with where he left.
He continues to be a key player in the Kenyan economy, and we can look forward to many more years of Eddy being around to make a contribution and to blaze a trail for those of us who are younger than he is, to have a role model that we can emulate, and we can try and do half of the things that he has done.
We thank Eddy for the excellent work he did while he was the chair of the Nairobi Securities Exchange, and we look forward to meeting him in future, working with him, because I'm sure with Eddy's vision he will be back even if in a new role, but he'll continue to play an important role in the growth and deepening of the capital markets in Kenya.